he made the ultimate case. You know, the jury rests with why it should be Seth to have Cody's back.
Welcome back to WrestlePool. I'm Bear. That's Hosier. I'm excited to talk about what we witnessed this past week because, my goodness, there was one little down part for me, but like the whole week from like press conference to today, just a whirlwind of just everything happening. So I'm excited to chat and get into it. And I'm going to just kick us right off the bat here and go right into this. One thing, we're going to start back at the press conference.
Okay.
I want your reaction to this statement. The WWE put between 2,000 and 3,000 people in an arena for a press conference.
Pretty remarkable. It's also a little disappointing.
Okay.
Because watching it and listening to it live, it sounded like there were so many more people there.
Yeah.
So when they said the number, I was like, really, that's it? Because it sounded like the place was packed.
Yeah.
I don't know if they were piping in noise or whatnot, but 2,000 to 3,000 people for a press event. Was pretty awesome yet disappointing because I really thought there'd be a lot more.
I was shocked. I wasn't disappointed in the number. I was like, oh wow. I was like they put, because when you watched the press event and you looked at it, you could see that the stage was halfway.
Yeah, it was like half court of the like half a basketball court,
right? Half
or
court,
something.
center rink, whatever. It was halfway. So I was like, oh, okay, they're only using half of it, and they probably didn't fill the upper bowl.
Yeah.
It was a free event. I think there were VIP tickets that you could purchase.
Down bottom, yeah.
But you were free to go in. Brilliant to do it in the Super Bowl city and just like, and to think about that, right? Like to think about the fact that the Super Bowl was happening on Sunday. There was so many other things going on. And they still put 2,000 to 3,000 people for no matches.
Nothing, just people talking.
I thought it was insane, and I was super excited by that. It just shows to me like how promising moving forward professional wrestling, like
WWE is moving forward.
I'm really hoping professional wrestling overall, but WWE is really going to be like, I think they're just, I'm just ready for them to go ballistic with all of this.
Yes, I agree. No, it was a good number, but hearing it live when we live streamed during it, and then hearing the number, I'm like, doesn't seem like it added up, but still 2,000 to 3,000, good number. Just thought it was more.
I can understand that. At first, the whole thing started out a little bit weird. When they first opened up on the stage. So after we do our little pre-show, with Cole, Big E, Pat McAfee,
and
Punk, they opened up the stage, and both of us went, there's no tables.
Yeah, it wasn't a real press conference.
No, I was like, this is a little weird. And then the first couple of things, like I felt like with Bianca and were a little weird. So the question, there was a point for me when everything turned and I was like, oh, this is getting good and I want to watch more. Did you have a moment? Like
Mommy versus the man.
That was mine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Becky saying that Mommy might always be on top, but the man's going to show Mommy how to be on the bottom when the man comes to town. I was just like, bars! Get him, Becky! That was fire.
It was insane. Like, we're going to get it this whole past week in terms of bars, as the Gen Zs would like to say. I don't know. What has just been crazy because it's not just Becky. Mommy's promo before was a little weird, but then when Becky came out and they got into it, it was great. The whole thing that happened with The Rock and Roman and Cody and Seth, like there were just again like bars and through the entire weekend. So that was my turning point when Becky, and it wasn't even when Rhea came out. It was literally when Becky came out. You can feel the energy shift Bianca is Bianca. We love Bianca, but it was just weird.
Bailey should have been there.
Bailey should have showed, but
That should have been Bailey's spot.
100%.
Because if you're not going to have the champion
right
on like if Io wasn't going to be there with Rhea,
right,
then the number one woman,
right,
obviously you're setting up something massive with
Correct.
Becky. Okay, fine. But the other number one woman, the real number one woman in WWE right now is Bailey.
100%.
She won the Rumble. She's going to defeat Damage Control. She should have been the one kicking off.
I agree.
The press event.
I agree, and it would have, and it's almost like they did that thing with her and Dakota and Damage Control on Friday night, right? Like you almost could have done that at the press conference, and it would have been cool.
Yep.
Or like even if it was Bailey there and Dakota comes out and like she's trying to convince,
or just Bailey just to sell WrestleMania to start off the press event.
Sure, but to be honest with you, like I think the moments really came when they had people like that's why
the story
Rhea
started to advance.
Right,
I agree.
That's why Rhea and Becky got so good because the story started moving forward. And I was like, oh, this is a lot of fun. So 100 that was the moment for me. But we got to go to the smack heard around the world.
We do.
So first of all, to talk about this, before we get to the smack, The Rock put up that family tree, and he said clearly, definitively, there is one royal family in the wrestling business. First of all, the fact that the Rock used the word wrestling as much as he did, that was amazing. You know where I stand. Agree? Disagree?
That's one hell of a family tree. And the lineage, you can't put the Rhodes family tree because it's 3.
Yes.
And you have this massive,
right,
conglomerate. Like you can make a whole wrestling promotion out of what's active right now. You can literally start a wrestling promotion.
Correct.
Is there a family that size in wrestling right now besides that?
No.
So they may be the preeminent royal family in wrestling because you're also talking about the biggest star in wrestling and movies and entertainment in Dwayne Johnson, alongside the biggest character.
Yeah.
I don't want to say the biggest pro wrestler, but the biggest character and the best run in wrestling and sports entertainment in Roman Reigns. So when you put those two together, I think they can lay claim to saying we are the preeminent royal family in pro wrestling.
Sure. I can see I can see that argument. I'm going to argue that size doesn't matter. But like just a statement of there's only one royal family. There's a different argument when you go, hold on.
Cody says wrestling has more than one royal family.
Right.
Okay.
Right. And and The Rock said there is one royal family. I'm like, hold up, Rocky. I'm like, listen, sure, you guys have the biggest royal family. I know we're gonna please in the comments but the star power that is on that family tree is insane. I'm with you that there's only 3. You've got Dusty, you've got Dustin, and you've got Cody.
One hell of a trio, though.
One hell of a
hell of a trio.
Like if you think about the body of work, it's insane for those 3, and then even the Flair, Charlotte. Yes, you only have Rick and Charlotte, but who knows what the future with Andrade married into the Flair family, so now he's part of the Flair family tree. Now, so that's what I'm saying is there's.
So did Conrad Thompson. I mean,
good point. There is more than one royal family in wrestling, though. Now, if you want to have the argument of which is the best royal family, that's a different talk. But that to me was, of all the things said, that was the most. It's not really, but the most offensive thing that he said that night. Now,
no, that was not the most offensive. Roman looking Cody dead square in the eye and saying your father was irrelevant.
No. That was the most offensive thing that The Rock said.
Oh, okay.
Yes, Roman saying that. But let's talk about bars for a second because Cody coming out of nowhere with you're sitting here saying you're head of the table, Who cares what table you're sitting at when not the two of you haven't done any of the cooking in the past 2 years? When he said that,
sick.
Oh my, I was like, Cody.
He says, which is why this Cody phenomenon is happening, because we're like, this is what we want our top guy to be.
Yes.
Present. It's the best ability is availability in your top guys, your top men and women.
Right.
Right. Rock is not available other than this run.
Right.
Then he's off to go do big business.
Sure.
And Roman is a full-fledged part-time guy, probably going to become even more part-time.
Right.
So, but that line just speaks for an entire community of wrestling fans when we say, get your ass on TV.
Yeah.
Be at the Survivor Series. Be at these events. Defend that title more. But sick. I don't know if it was as good as the Becky line. Because the Becky line is crazy.
Yes.
But that was insane.
That was, I'm with you. Like, I'm with you. I don't think that was the best line of the weekend, though. I think we all we're coming to that when we get to Raw. But I don't think either of those were the best lines of the weekend. But Rock slaps Cody in the mouth, and immediately you got super excited. And if you watch the live stream, you'll notice this. And you were saying, I'm in for this tag match at WrestleMania, Rock and Roman versus Cody and Seth. I'm in for it. We're almost a week out. Well, we're a week out from watching that all happen and you being that excited. Are you still that excited for that match?
Yes. I'm excited because now it makes sense. My issue with that Friday night SmackDown after the Rumble is you cannot sell me, an invested maniac loyal fan, that the Royal Rumble winner doesn't get to pick their title match.
Right.
Now, if Cody came out and said, I'm not waiting till Mania, I want to face you at Elimination Chamber, fine. He has that right. If Cody, now that we're here, decides he's going to put that spot on the line versus The Rock at some point, and he loses, you did it, that's fine. But when he picked Roman and they made the match official, it started to make sense. Then everything that happened afterwards and everything that we think is going to happen, we really don't know.
Right.
Now I'm in because Hollywood heel Rock might be the best Rock that we're ever going to get.
I agree.
So yes, it makes sense. And now where they go from here, it's like the Sami Zayn bloodline, just the bloodline story in general. I thought the bloodline story was stale. I thought it was done.
Yeah.
This revved up the engines, and now we are on the fast track for the next 8 to 12 months, and I am completely bought in.
Right. I can't say anything like that's
the best pivot in WWE history.
The best pivot in WWE history, 100%. Everything that you said there, spot on. With you 100%. I'm excited to see what they're going to do.
Yeah.
I'm excited I'm in for that tag match. If that tag match is happening at WrestleMania, we know that Roman Cody's happening. Like, that's happening.
That is.
I can see a scenario where, because of all this, like, we get the tag match, Cody faces Roman on night 2, The Rock interferes, and we keep going with this Cody and Seth versus The Rock and Roman. And there might even be a stable of people that you build around Cody and Seth that includes the KOs and the Sami Zayns and maybe Randy Orton and kind of like what we saw. So we get, it'll be interesting to see if we get Team Cody versus the Bloodline War Games 2. That's an interesting at Survivor Series, but I'm with you. Like, I'm in again. I'm back. Like,
yeah.
Which is what they needed. They kind of killed this storyline for a little bit.
They did.
Which is maybe what we all needed. Because we just needed a break.
Yeah, there was no place else for them to go. I never expected this.
Right.
I expected Rock versus Roman. I expected there to be a build for just Rock Roman.
Right.
Never in my wildest dreams did I think that we were going to get the team of Rock and Roman.
Yeah.
Like that was not on the bingo card of 2024 wrestling storylines. That we talk wrestling every day.
Literally.
Every day. We discuss everything.
Yeah.
There was never a moment where we were like, can you imagine if these two teamed up
No.
for something?
No.
It never entered any of our
It was,
and I follow Twitter and I follow TikTok. I follow it all.
right.
All of it.
Yeah.
And no one.
No,
I think the first time I heard something was Peter Rosenberg on his podcast saying, what if The Rock went full heel? And that was just a 30-second little thing, and then boom, we're off to the races at the press event.
Yeah, and it was incredible, and I think they've set it up beautifully, and we're going to have a lot more to talk about all these things over the next, 6 weeks as we keep going towards WrestleMania. But I do want to move to SmackDown, and I wasn't disappointed in SmackDown, but I have this question is, did we get enough on SmackDown from the press conference? Did we really get anything on SmackDown from the press conference?
What did we get? No, there was very little follow-up.
On SmackDown.
Yeah, on SmackDown, no.
Right. So should there have been, or were they smart?
I think because it happened on a Thursday, I think that was the type of moment and event that you had to let breathe.
I'm with you.
And you had to. We want it all right now. We're in the instant gratification era.
Right.
Right? Like it's the social media era. We have 30-second mindsets.
Yep.
We want it all, like the press conference happened Thursday, we'll do one day of build, and then Saturday we're wrestling, and then we're moving on to the next thing.
Right.
At the time, they had like 60 days to go. Yeah. They're slow walking us through this. So they had to let it breathe. And we got to Raw, and they gave us another, like, a massive, wow moment. So I think they're doing it right. And now, this Friday, the band is on SmackDown, and we're going to progress this even that much more further.
Yeah. So let's get to, because we didn't get much, the one thing that we did get moving towards WrestleMania on SmackDown was the Bayley Damage Control, EO, and Dakota.
So we're talking about two SmackDowns because this was the SmackDown after.
Oh, was the press conference that long ago? No, this was Friday.
I don't even know what day it is. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's Wednesday. This was Friday.
Delete. Continue.
Definitely not. We're going to leave that in there. But anyway, no, I 100%, like, we get that, and that's cool, and I'm with you. Like, they needed to let that breathe. I, like, oversaturate.
200 million views.
200 million views in 72
hours. It equaled
hours.
The Super Bowl.
It's crazy. And then so you ride that 200 million views into Raw. And I'm going to let you I'm going to say this, but I'm going to let you I'm going to let you go off on this. You ride that 200 million views into Raw, and then you put Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins in a ring, and Seth Rollins absolutely destroys a microphone.
Oh my God. So,
like,
I mean, where to start?
Right.
He made the ultimate case. The jury rests with why it should be Seth to have Cody's back.
Right.
He laid out every possible piece of evidence that he could lay out. And when Seth said, I'm part to blame, I made Roman like this.
Right.
When Seth and Roman had their last little feud, where Seth was really in the head of Roman, and he was playing on the Shield. During that match, Seth was up against the ropes, and Roman is doing Roman things with the facial expressions, and he says it out loud. You made me like this. During that match, Roman says to Seth, you made me like this. So now to bring that back, I think that was like almost 18 months ago.
Close to it. That was a Rumble.
That was
Rumble.
That was leading into, I think, Roman versus Brock to unify the belts. I think that was before Cody.
Yeah.
It was that time period that them two had their. It was post-COVID. There were fans back.
Right.
But Roman looked at Seth, and Seth was up against the ropes, and he just got done getting his butt whooped, and Roman actually said it. So to bring that back through the press conference, through all Roman just craps on Seth any chance he gets, and he does it masterfully.
Right.
To have Seth then take that and say it to Cody.
Yes.
Unbelievable.
Absolutely unbelievable.
Which I've seen this Seth before.
Yeah.
Why do I feel, well, have your opinion, but I feel like there's a Seth turn coming.
I don't.
But have your opinion on the promo before we get into booking and whatnot.
So, first of all, Seth gets in the ring, and these, like, again, like, they're so smart at the little things. Like, WWE, I want to give WWE credit, but I want to give Cody and Seth and Roman and Rock and Becky and Rhea, like, I want to give them so much credit for all the little things that they're doing, because Seth gets in the ring, Cody thanks him. Before you start, I want to say thank you. And Seth just goes, well, what can I say except you're welcome? And I was just like, yes, Seth. Like, oh, like, that was, to me, to, like, use The Rock's line from his song, like.
You know, see, that's why you're so much smarter than me, because you catch these things.
Like,
I don't. That makes it even more better.
So, and that, like, when he says that, well, what can I say except you're welcome, which is Maui singing, you know, from Moana, like, I'm just like, oh, Seth, thank you for, like, delivering this for us. But then he cuts that promo, which, like, literally had me on the edge of my seat the entire time. I was focused. All I wanted to do in that moment was listen to Seth talk and hear what he had to say. And then for him to say that line, I am uniquely situated to be your shield. Goosebumps.
Yeah.
Like The Rock comes out, he's like, goosebumps. No, Rocky.
Goosebumps.
No, that was a goosebumps moment. And that to me was the line of the wrestling weekend, right? Like, to me, the mommy's going to learn what it is to be a bottom. Neither of you been doing the cooking for 2 years. Great lines, dropping bars.
Oh, hey, Becky also said on the same episode of Raw, I have to explain to my daughter why her father wants to fight Maui.
That was incredible. And if WWE is going back to this idea of hyper realism, right? Like, which they have been for the past couple of years. They're going back to the idea, not that the idea that what they're doing is real and it's not and that it is, like, that it isn't the spectacle that they're putting on, but that the stories are authentic. They have to stay authentic, and using all of these little things. It's not, some people might be like, well, it's cheap. No, it's not cheap. Like, it's authentic and it's real.
Yes.
And I didn't realize that, like, that story, I forgot, like, that him yelling at Seth, like, you made me like this. And Seth saying, it's all these little things. It's all these little things.
They must have a research team that just, we're going to watch every single interaction between the group of people that we're building this story. And we're going to pick out every little thing we can use, and we're going to put it into the story so that people can go find it and go relate it back to what we're doing right now.
It's like Easter eggs in movies.
Yes.
And that's
it's like QR codes.
It's like QR codes. But to me, they could have that team, but I want to give the credit to the WWE and the creative at WWE that Triple H is now overseeing. And I really want to give the credit to the Seths and Codys and Sammys and KOs and Drew. Drew, like,
we got news on Drew. He's being advertised for events in the summer, so it looks like he may have been locked up because they wouldn't be promoting him.
Which is awesome, because this Drew McIntyre, I am in for.
Top heel on Monday Night Raw.
100%. But all these little, but it's because of all the little things. And as much as I hate to say this, and I don't hate, but Roman was the pioneer in this world of the little tiny details, focusing on them. I want to give it to that they had the foresight in that match to say, hey, in 2 years, I'm going to have to stand in a ring and say to Cody Rhodes, I made him like this, so you need to yell that at me in this match. Like, I want to give them that credit, because that is the level that the WWE and all of their performers are thinking on today. And it's different than anybody else. So I am all for everything they're doing. I really hope there is not a Seth turn coming. I really don't.
When he said the Shield part, it automatically brought me back to how the Shield ended.
Right.
With Seth turning on.
Yes.
And, you have this Triple H Rock Obviously, hopefully, Triple H never gets in a ring again for his health
Absolutely.
reasons. But there is going to be, there's a new authority
Yes.
in WWE, and it's The Rock. And they have to play into his position and his role within the parent company, TKO.
Sure.
And now it's going to be, do I say a Triple H-led team of WWE versus the Bloodline? Like, are we getting WCW versus NWO?
Very cool.
Where it's Hunter leading to take back control of the company that the control that he got when he was named head of creative by Ari Emanuel, by TKO.
Right.
Not that Vince anointed him, because Vince doesn't anoint anyone but himself.
Correct.
But the fact that Ari said, no, Hunter's doing this, and now here comes this massive... I mean, for crying out loud, they can even play into the fact that The Rock has his own creative control guy, his own writer, in a former brilliant WWE writer, in Brian Gerwitz or whatever his name is.
Yeah.
So post-Mania, whatever happens...
Yeah.
Or even the lead up to Mania and beyond.
Yeah.
You're going to have like this little engine that could type thing of megastars, like a Triple H led team.
It's going to be insane.
Trying to battle The Rock and the Bloodline.
Right.
Who?
I think.
Who?
And I see.
Woo!
And I see where and why somebody would say, oh, we'll see a Seth turn come. I don't, because of what you just said with Drew McIntyre. Drew McIntyre will be the top heel and I think it'll
might
be
even
him
be world
and
champion,
Seth,
to be honest with you.
and it'll be him and Seth for a while, in my opinion. Him and Seth will have a great, and that's the thing. Again, like, this is the beautiful thing that the WWE is doing. There is this main storyline that looks like we could be working towards of this WWE-led band of brothers and sisters.
There you go. I like that, the band of brothers and sisters.
Versus the Bloodline, which is the main thing. But there are all of these little sub Seth versus Drew, and we're not even talking about the Judgment Day and what they're doing. Damian Priest is Senior Money in the Bank. So there's all these little sub stories and twists and turns that they can take us on. And so all of this to say, Triple H for the past week has been saying that they are changing the game, that they are leveling up at Wrestlemania XL. Do you believe him with the past week we've had?
Yes. We're onto something very unique, very special. And just to kind of extrapolate this out, the eventual turn of the Rock on Roman or Roman on Rock, when that day comes, it's going to make, in my opinion, it will make Roman Reigns the biggest babyface.
I agree.
Possibly ever.
Yeah.
Because that acknowledge me bit is going to take on a whole new meaning with a crowd when he's going to stop The Rock.
Right.
Because there's only one person that's going to take down The Rock from his perch. It can't be Hunter, because Hunter can't get in the ring.
Right.
But it's one person.
Yeah.
At whenever. I'm not even going to try to guess what it is, because I honestly have no idea.
No, we're going to Bruno at this point.
Yeah. It's Roman to stop The Rock. So however they get there, I'm here for it. And we'll be here for it.
We will. And I'm with you. They are 100% thinking and on a different level and operating on a different level. Greatness on a different level. It really is an incredible thing to be witnessing and to be cognizant and aware of, right? Because we've been watching wrestling for our entire lives. And this is why I've been saying to you for the past 6 months, this period in the WWE specifically, but I think in professional wrestling, is going to be bigger than the Attitude Era. I think
it can.
I think that they have the star power
built on the person who helped make the Attitude Era in Hunter and The Rock.
100%. And this is, to me, with all of this happening, if that idea of Hunter leading these people, the band of brothers and sisters versus The Rock and the Bloodline, if that's what you're doing, then to me, that's the two of them handing the torch over to this generation and saying, hey, we had our run and it was great, but you guys are going to be so much better. and what you're going to do is going to be on a level that they never could have even imagined it getting to. And I really believe that we're going there. I believe that we are in for a boom, where I've been saying we're going to have a big time boom in pro wrestling, specifically the WWE. And we're not even starting. So with all of this said, to wrap this up, I'm going to ask you the question. What inning are we in?
I'm going to say we've entered the bottom of the fourth.
I'm with you. I'm with you on that.
I think there was a nice, long, and necessary rain delay.
Yep.
Okay. And now we're back on the field, and we've entered the bottom of the fourth.
Yeah.
And I don't know how the rest of the game's going to go. Like
And that's a beautiful thing.
It is an absolute beautiful thing.
Well, he's Hosier.
I am.
I'm Bear. This is WrestlePool. We have WrestlePooled. We're on the road to WrestleMania.
We are.
And you're coming along with us. So make sure to tune in right here to WrestlePool. Check us out on all the socials at WrestlePool. Check us out on Twitch now at WrestlePool. We're just at WrestlePooling everywhere. So
We're WrestlePooling.
this is us for WrestlePool. We out for life.